Here comes motion. Here comes the quarterback, Burrow. Looking for a block, and he got it up in the front by Hopkins into the end zone. Touchdown!
Fakes, throwing to the end zone. Wide open is Higgins for the Cincinnati touchdown.
There's the sneak. Burrow gets low, driving towards the goal line. He's inside the one, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and I'm joined by a special guest today, my man, SirGrogShire. I hope I'm saying that right. What's up, bro?
Not much, man. Just chilling in my nice cold basement on a hot day.
No, all good. That's all good. So a lot of you guys that are watching, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Please feel free to hit that like button. But one of the reasons that I wanted to bring Sir on is he's been doing this pretty dope Bengals fan wrestling league that he's created himself with a mod. It's been amazing. All of the Bengal personalities that you can really think of, whether it's Joe Goodberry, whether it's Zim Hude, whether it's myself, he's even got Yaz on there. Like, he's doing some pretty cool things with it. And if you're like me, I used to be a fan of wrestling back in the Attitude Era age. I'm not really the new age wrestling fan. I'm more of the old wrestling fan. And these are cool things where you can see Bengals personalities, including Sir himself, featured with some of those old school wrestling moves. I think my finisher is the rock bottom. So I call it the ace bottom, but the rock bottom. But Sir, I just really wanted to like pick your brain and just see like how this whole process got started, because it's pretty dope. And I'll get something pulled up on the screen here. But if you can just like talk about what really inspired you to kind of start this wrestling league full of Bengals fans.
So about I'd say 8 months ago, I was actually doing a series like this with just people that I've made, and it didn't really get all too many views. So I was just like, you know what, we're gonna hold off on this for a bit. I was kind of jumping between jobs because of the whole COVID situation. So it was a good time for me to just stop and focus on getting my life together. And then in April, a group of YouTubers that I've been watching for like 7 years now, they did a thing where they basically made everybody in their office, since they weren't in the office at the time, they made everybody in the office. They did wrestling simulation as well. I was like, you know what? I want to get back into that. That was so much fun. And since I'm kind of still new to like the Bengals super fandom, I was like, you know what? Most of my Twitter is pretty much full of Bengals fans. Let's put Bengals fans in the game. And nice. No mods needed. Didn't do any mods. This was all just from the in-game wrestling creation. So they have like create a wrestler, create an entrance, create a belt, create a move set. Unfortunately, in one of the old games, they actually had to create a finisher, but they took it out when 2K took it over, which was unfortunate. But this in itself, I started probably like mid-April. I think I finished at the end of May. So it took about a month and a half to put all together.
And you reached out to people to figure out, like, because you wanted it to be as realistic as possible, right? I think, like, as people are seeing on the screen right now, this was like right after I got my Tyler Boyd New Stripes jersey, and you were able to recreate that in the game. But you also made sure that you were kind of realistic when it came to like the body types, like in terms of the height and stuff like that. Because I know you reached out to me and asked for some of that information. So what was it like doing that in terms of how much detail you really put into this? Because there's so much detail. I assume that it was a mod. That's how great that this stuff looked.
So the reaching out process was pretty much like, I knew I had to include obviously myself. I had to include Captain, because he was one of the first people I actually met at a Bengals game.
Nice.
And then with Bengalorean having the Pepsi Fan of the Year thing, I knew I had to include him too. And then from there, I just posted the 3 photos, and people were just like, bro, you need to add me to this, to whatever you're doing here. You need to add me. So I started messaging some of the people there. Like Hulk was one of the first people. Him and Arrow were two of the first people that were like, I want in on this. So I was like, okay, roster's small, so let's go ahead and add more people. Right. And then Captain suggested Jim, and I know I think Jim and Captain both suggested like let's get some of the other people in there. So somebody brought up tag teams. I was like, well, I do. And I was following you guys at the time, so I knew that you and Zim were a pair. So I was like, you know what? If I start doing tag teams, I can at least add them in as solos right now, and we can go from there. And it just kind of kept escalating to more people wanted in, and I started with the people that I already followed, so they at least had the chance to get in. And then the whole messaging process was just like, all I asked was for their height and what they kind of wanted to wear. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I kind of was a creep and stalked their Twitter for a day and found a photo to just find the best representation of them. Or I would ask for a photo if I didn't want to be that weird. I never asked for weights because I knew that some people find that a little disrespectful. Right. So the only weights that I put in there were like mine, and if somebody gave me their weight.
No, that's dope. That's dope. So in terms of like, because this is like a whole, like every week, it seems like there's always different kind of matches, and that's why I always tune in. Like sometimes it was hard for me to make it on Sundays because I would have the Q&As around like the same time. But anytime that I go back to work on Monday, that's like my Monday routine. I'd come in and I'd be like, all right, it's almost like I gotta check out what's going on. Even if I would potentially get caught watching wrestling at work, I'm risking it for this thing because it was super entertaining. And then, there'd be exchanges on Twitter with some of these other personalities, and it would be fun because we see the matchups come out, and it's like, all right. I think it started off with Bengals Jim talking trash. I think he said he was going to go after Zim with the chair or something like that, yeah. If I'm not mistaken. And then we started the whole Jim Diesel thing because he looked like Vin Diesel. His player looked like Vin Diesel, and I saw that you even created, I think it was a video with him in place of Vin Diesel. So yeah, it's definitely been fun to watch.
And it's nice, simple, and free to do. It's something easy to watch, and if you can't watch it on Sundays, there, like you said, there's always the YouTube channel. And I've had to take at least 2 weeks off just because like we had July 4th yesterday, so I didn't want to do it on an important holiday. And then like Memorial Day, I didn't want to do it on that either.
Nah, I totally understand. It's definitely been a rush of holidays. For people that are watching this video, where are the ways that they can kind of watch some of the past battles and where they can kind of keep up with the content?
So at least the past ones, those are all on a playlist on my YouTube channel, which is SirGrogShire. So pretty much you can find me anywhere on media at SirGrogShire and all that. If you want to watch it live, it's twitch.tv/SirGrogShire. And if you need to know how to spell my name, it's right there at the top of the video.
Yeah, so definitely be sure to check them out. I'm telling you, like, these things are super entertaining. I watched me and myself get in the ring with the likes of Bengals captain as we see him doing the strut right there. That is awesome. So from my understanding, talking to you behind the scenes, Bengals captain, people can't hear it at home, and it's probably because of the copyrights and stuff like that, but he's coming after the Shawn Michaels music. Does he have the Shawn Michaels moveset?
Whose moveset? I think I gave him Ric Flair's. I don't think I gave him Shawn's.
With the strut. That makes sense with the strut.
And the thing was, I asked him, I was like, what type of music do you want? Because I don't really know if he wanted like rock, metal. I know a lot of the wrestling stuff is rock. And he was like, I want Shawn Michaels. And I was like, of course you do.
Nothing wrong with that. Did you get any other requests, like any other funny requests? Like, I know for me, I told you that I wanted I tried to snatch like the rock bottom and I was surprised no one had the Stone Cold Stunner. I couldn't believe that. But did you get any requests like that from anybody else? I think Zim requested Zuba pants or something like that, right?
Yeah, he wanted Zubas, and I basically gave him leggings because I didn't know what Zubas really were. So I just kind of did leggings with stripes. And then when
I think that's pretty close. I don't know Zubas either, but I think that's pretty close.
Yeah, and then he suggested doing the Zubas Day on the Thursday Night Football, and I looked him up a lot more. I'm like, I really didn't do that well. And as far as other funny requests, I remember talking with Hulk and it's Jim Diesel. There we are.
Jim Diesel.
I remember talking with Hulk, and he was like, okay, this is what I want my guy to look like, and it was his old profile picture. And I was like, all right, how tall are you? He's like 5'8". I'm like, this is gonna be the shortest fucking Hulk ever.
Oh my goodness.
As far as people suggesting moves, the only other one that I've gotten suggested from was Arrow, and he wanted the RKO, but a lot of people wanted the RKO, and I meant to give it to him, and I completely forgot, and I still have yet to switch that moveset.
Nah, it's all good, bro. I mean, I felt bad even asking you for certain stuff. I think for me, the other thing that I'll get into is like the matches. Like, how do you pick, which matches vary from week to week? Because this is a premier kind of thing. Like you're essentially planning, each event week to week, and it's almost kind of like you're Vince McMahon planning out this show, who's going to have the matchups, what's going to be the most entertaining, and I think you've done a great job at doing that. So that's the other thing. Like, how do you kind of determine what the matchups are from week to week?
So, like, I see right now looking at the video, like, I'm looking down. I'm literally looking down at this. I have a match-to-match thing for every week. Mm-hmm. And it's I write down the winners, and based on the winners, they get certain they can, like, possibly be number one contender or stuff like that. But it's I know in regular wrestling you have, like, every month you have kind of this premiere, every title's on the line kind of thing. Right. And I was like, well, I know at least from there it's they have the number one contender usually in the first week of the month. Mm-hmm. And then they have that whole rivalry going on. Whereas I like to at least keep everything interesting, since I have the ability to. If I wanted to, I could do a whole week of steel cage matches. Why not? Right. And I try to get everybody in every week, just because if I don't, I feel like somebody's going to be like, why'd you leave me out of the show? I was like, well, I might not have room. Right. Which is why I kept it to 30 people, because it was like you had 20 men, you had 10 women. I can only do a total of 30 matches or 7 matches. And like this, the last time that I had it, I actually lost my title at that last premiere. So I got my championship rematch. Mm-hmm. And from there, it was like, well, Drunk got the Twitterverse championship. So why don't we put it on the line again to see if he can keep it?
Right.
So I basically picked who I thought did well in that match or did well in the title match and threw them in. Or, like, right now, Goku has, it's Casey Joe. And he's won, I think, 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, wow. Oh, hold on 1 second. We're going to bring him back in real quick.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. But it's all about the simulation. It's if you do well, you get to go for titles and you get into bigger and better matches. If you don't do well, then you do what I have called a momentum match, where If you win, you can start building that all up again.
Right. And most of these, for the fans at home, most of these are just computer simulated matches. You're not actually in here fighting or anything like that. Like, your character is fighting, but this is all computer simulated stuff.
Yeah, I do not control any of these guys. It's all random. Like, we had one match where it was supposed to be a last person standing match, which is just last person to get to their feet by a count of 10. And the computer would just like punch them, knock them down, and then just wait. Punch them, knock them down, just wait. And it was the most boring match ever, but it was just funny because nobody would do anything. It would just be, it was a very slow paced match. But it's, as you can see, it's like they all control themselves. There's no health bars at the bottom, which it would show if I was controlling it. They pick who they want to go after. They pick their moves.
Me and Zim are going at it right now.
Yeah. And like you got Drunken Blake Jewell there, Sean and Bengal Jim, and then Catman Hulk.
What has Bengals Jim said to you about this project?
We haven't really talked about it like just to each other. We just talk about regular Bengal stuff. At the Jungle to the Hall event, we talked about it a little bit and just how he thinks it's at least a creative thing that he didn't think anybody was going to do. And I'm very excited that the new game's going to be actually coming out this year since they skipped last year. Because
that should be pretty
WK or 2K20 was an absolute mess.
Yeah, I heard.
So I'm hoping that the new one is I can transfer characters because I don't feel like building 30 more characters again. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one.
No, all good. So shifting things into like just Bengal stuff. You mentioned that you went to the Jungle to the Hall with Jim.
Mm-hmm.
How did you just get into being a Bengals fan?
So my mom and my grandma, when the Bengals were created, they used to watch the games at Nippert, or they would watch it at Fountain Square when they could, and then or they would watch it at home. And then in I forget if it was the late 70s or the early 80s, they wound up finding a family friend that had season tickets, but they were going to sell them. So they said, hey, instead of that, why don't you give them to us? We'll pay you for the tickets, but you can keep it in your name, get the benefits and all that. So
right.
Her and my grandma held those tickets until Paul Brown Stadium was built. And then they finally transferred it over to their name. And from there, it was pretty much when my grandma said she couldn't really go anymore. Then my mom started taking me, and I've been watching the Bengals just because my mom has season tickets, so I'm gonna watch the games and all that. And my dad's a big college football guy, so I pretty much grew up in a football household. But I started watching, I want to say back when Carson Palmer got drafted.
Nice.
But I officially started going to the games, I think 2010. And really the only jersey that I have right now is an AJ Green jersey because it was the year he got drafted.
Yeah, and I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean, there's no other reason other than that.
I got him right there in the background.
Yes, sir. You know it. In terms of like the new team, who are some of your favorite players and what are some of your expectations, I guess, for the upcoming season?
So, favorite player right now, I mean, I can't hate on Burrow, but I feel like everybody's answer is going to be Burrow. But I'll take a stab with the defense. I love Logan Wilson. I think he's gonna develop into a really good linebacker, which we got to see a small sample of his awareness in the last season until injury. On the offensive side, once again, I'm going to go with a really young player. I like the Jackson Carman pick.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
I don't care what anybody says. Jackson Carman's going to be a wonderful right tackle or right guard.
Oh, I like that. So not picking your typical Bengals. I like you switching it up and staying close to the fanhood and picking the guys that are your guys and not necessarily just everyone's guys. So that's dope. Jackson Carman as well as Logan Wilson. I like those two picks right there. Shifting back to wrestling, I want to ask you, like, if you had to give your top 5 wrestlers of all time that are just your favorites, which would that be?
Man. You said you were going to ask my favorite, not my top 5. Top 5. I love Seth Rollins. I think he's great in either as a good guy or bad guy. It's the same with Kevin Owens. I think he's the same way. Older guys, I can't go wrong with Andre the Giant. I went back when I actually had the WWE Network. I went back and watched a lot of his matches. Ultimate Warrior the same way. Randy Orton, back when I first started watching, he was kind of the guy I drew to. Mm-hmm. And Kofi Kingston. I love Kofi's energy, and I don't think it can be beat other than Ultimate Warrior.
Nice. So me, I'm an Attitude Era guy. I know that I'm not as well versed with the newer guys, so I would probably say for myself, Triple H. Now this isn't in any order, so I got to throw Triple H in there. Got to throw Stone Cold in there. Got to throw The Rock in there. It's hard because I don't know if it counts WWE or WCW people. Everything is all WWE now. I got to throw The Undertaker in there. I mean, just a legend.
God, I forgot about The Undertaker. Yeah, he's in there too.
Hogan, the only thing with Hogan is I can't get over that the leg drop is his only move. It's his biggest move. I mean, I'm thinking of Hogan, but I might actually go with The Rock, Triple H. Oh, I got to throw Shawn Michaels in there. Heartbreak Kid, of course, yes. Bret Hart could probably be in there as well. I'll throw Bret Hart in the honorable mention. But if you guys are watching and you're diehard wrestling fans, let me know what your top 5 is in the comments. But, sir, we appreciate your time, bro. We appreciate you for coming on. Once again, just let the people know where they can catch the Bengals Wrestling League at.
So it's the Bengals Fan Wrestling. I forget if it's BFWE, but I think I went with Expo, not Experience. But it's Bengals Fan Wrestling Expo. You can find that on Twitter at BFW_experience, or you can find me as you just moonwalk in front of drunk there. You can find me at SirGrogShire or Bengals Night, which obviously I'm not wearing any of my armor right now. It's too damn hot to wear it. But if you ever find me at a game, I'll be in full armor. Unfortunately, far away from the other party groups that are down at like 150, 154. I'm over at 230.
Yeah, so thank you for mentioning that. I will be there with some party groups thanks to the Bengals. We are going to be there for Jacksonville week 4, so it'll be me, Zim Hude. A lot of the people that you've seen in Sir's Fan Wrestling Expo, Bengals Fan Wrestling Expo, will be there. So check the description. There are some links in there for you guys to be able to join us if possible. I think Emily Parker might be working on something with people that already have existing tickets. Mm-hmm. So, sir, we'll talk after the show on that. But also let them know where they can find you at on Twitter.
On Twitter, it's at SirGrogShire. Twitch at twitch.tv/SirGrogShire, and YouTube SirGrogShire.
All right. Well, as usual, I'll leave you guys with a Who Day all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.
Here comes motion. Here comes the quarterback, Burrow. Looking for a block, and he got it up in the front by Hopkins into the end zone. Touchdown!
Fakes, throwing to the end zone, wide open is Higgins for the Cincinnati touchdown.
There's the sneak. Burrow gets low, driving towards the goal line. He's inside the 1, and he's into the end zone.